Hello there, and welcome to the April 9th version of the Pit and Paddock Race Show. Formula One was in Japan this weekend, where it was another Red Bull runaway with Verstappen first and Perez second. And if you stayed to watch past lap 5, you saw Sainz finish third. This is probably what we're going to see all year, unless Ferrari can challenge on the high downforce tracks or McLaren can pull off another miracle upgrade.
Well, Ferrari seems to clearly be the number two, and my sources say that the cooler weather actually helped Ferrari and McLaren with their tire degradation. So Red Bull probably could have won by even more.
It's supposed to be like the perfect track, like high speed power and low speed downforce on some of the turns. So everybody was saying that, oh yeah, this is the track that shows you what kind of car you really have. So everybody sucks except Red Bull.
In my professional opinion of playing video games, it's one of the best tracks to drive on.
Did you ever crash into the Ferris wheel?
You can't get over the track barrier there, or I would have.
Is that the one where we used to cut over the grass to get pole position?
That was all of them I could.
Oh.
I don't remember.
I think our only hope is for someone besides Red Bull to win is contact or a parts failure.
2026 can't come soon enough for F1. Do you think the new formula will give us anything different than the last 5?
I don't think so. I think it just gets even worse. The mega data era makes it so that, all the cars are within a second of each other, so it's just an eye blink difference.
And that's enough usually, unless you mess up your strategy, which they really haven't shown to do.
Well,
so it'll probably be close for, maybe even not. Hopefully it would be close for the first couple years before someone starts pulling away.
Do you think the more electric hybrid motor is going to make that much of a difference?
No, not really.
Someone's going to figure out the chassis, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, then they just need to go to the 3-year formula so that we don't draw it out with one team dominating for 3 years in a row. Ferrari pulled off a rare strategy win with Leclerc's one stop, moving him from 7th to 4th. Usually they screw that up.
Wow. So that's one good strategy call.
Yeah, mark it down in your column.
We'll mark that down. The other column, 1,000 bad strategy calls. Also another Williams crash on lap 1 and practice and oh my god.
Yeah, they crashed both cars, didn't they?
Yes.
One in practice and one on lap 1 of the race. You think they're going to bench someone in China?
They got, 2 weeks? I think they'll get a car back in time. But I think they should actually just bench the entire team or give it to Andretti.
It might be better if Andretti buys the Alpine Renault team. They're about as effective as a Maginot Turret.
I don't think I would want to buy either of those teams.
What do you think it costs for a crappy Formula One team that doesn't make it out of Q1?
I'm going to go over $500 million now at this point to buy a new team, or to buy a team.
Well, wasn't he going to have
$1 billion?
Wasn't he going to have to pay like $250 million to each team just to get into the series?
I think it was total, but it would have been split between all the teams. Yeah, just to start a team.
Well, I think they're betting that Formula One's going to continue to be popular, but I'd love to see the numbers and how much drop-off they've had after last year and this year.
That would be interesting. Let's see. Ricciardo with another bad race. I'm thinking he's not going to make it through the full season at this point.
You think they're going to get him out of there like they did? Who was the Filipino driver that they booted after like 4 races?
De Vries?
Yeah, De Vries.
Ricciardo's a little harder to boot than De Vries, but he's just not showing it, and Yuki is.
Christopher Horner has a soft spot for Daniel, but
everybody does.
Even he won't last that. Yeah. People were saying, it's bad when even Daniel's not smiling. Rumors have Lawson taking his spot. Maybe we need to do a pool. What race is Ricciardo out by?
Man, That would make the most sense, but he probably just should have stayed at Red Bull 6 years ago. I think since then he's only had the one win with McLaren. Was that Monza? I think he won at Monza, and that was it.
Because everybody else crashed out. Or did McLaren had a good car that year?
Yeah, they did. They got lucky. Nice Monza win, but still.
What about Stroll? I'm thinking we need to start a jackpot for when does his dad finally replace him with someone who can keep up with Alonso?
Man, it does help when your dad owns the team and the major sponsor.
Maybe that's the Canadian form of equity. Keep the billionaire son in the race.
He's paying for it. Don't have a choice.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess that's the typical pay-to-play driver. He brings them a bunch of money even though he's awful.
I think somebody else would have been out by now.
Oh, definitely. Even with the money. I'm going to move Japan up on my F1 race wish list, though, just because of the costumes that the Japanese wear. They have rice paddy hats in Formula One colors. I saw people in full-on race uniforms or racing fire suits with helmets.
Was somebody dressed up as a Ferrari horse, I think I saw also.
Yeah, and then I saw somebody who had like a Cubist Red Bull helmet that they had made and were wearing. Those people, they have a lot of fun at the race. I think I could do the Japanese Grand Prix, except maybe for the food, because I don't like sushi.
Oh, just hit up McDonald's over there. It should be great.
Ooh, like you get the fish sandwich and a milkshake.
Prez seems pretty popular in Japan too. A lot of Mexico flags there. Starting to remind me of visiting Tucson.
I think Mexico's doing a shadow take back Mexico from the United States again campaign.
Oh, again?
Yeah. Right, right there at Monument Mountain, or what do they call it, Rattlesnake Hill at Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah,
that's where the border used to be.
Oh, well, we're using that.
Yeah. Well, they can just push it. You know what? They can have everything from Tucson on down. Except Yuma. Like, leave us Yuma just for the agriculture. You know what? Never mind. Just let them have everything below Tucson.
That's fine.
And just, all the way across, take all of Southern Cal, like the whole south half of California. They can have that, and that's a fair deal.
I'm fine with it.
And then build a wall. No points for our home team, Haas, as they finish 11th and 13th.
Man, they could have really used that Red Bull retirement for that point. Do you think they keep Magnussen for next year? Because he seems to get beat by Hulk every race.
I don't know. You think they want to bring in a young driver, a promising one again, if the car can't compete?
The last time they tried that, they spent so much money.
Didn't work.
I really don't see people doing that much better than those two. I mean, maybe they could grab an extra position here and there, but they seem to keep the car under them and get a point every now and then.
Magnussen is really good for not letting anyone get past him. So
he's got the wide car.
And I don't know, do they really have the setup with Ferrari where they're like a Ferrari farm team?
Yeah, they still have that.
Because they haven't had a farm driver since, what was the Italian dude with the long hair?
Was Mick
Mick
Ferrari?
Yeah, Schumacher was a Ferrari farm driver, and then there was Antonio? That was his name?
He was he did Alfa Romeo a little bit too, I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He was with Alfa Romeo before they became Visa, Kick, Sauber, Super Lucky, whatever.
Yes, that team.
That's right. But he was a Ferrari farm driver too. But they're not a Ferrari farm driver team anymore. So
I don't know. I know they still get a lot of help from Ferrari.
Oh yeah, they buy all their parts and stuff.
What do we got next? Chinese Grand Prix coming up on the 21st. That's going to be a late night race Saturday.
So it's basically a Sunday race for us in the States.
I think it's at midnight our time.
Like on Saturday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I wake up is when I'll watch it.
Yeah. If you get the F1 TV subscription, then you can watch it whenever you want.
Yep.
If F1 TV's listening, send us a few dollars, sponsor money for that.
Yeah, it's a great service.
Yeah, we just boosted your product to like 10 million listeners.
Yes, nearly 10 million. In NASCAR, William Byron dominated another mediocre short track race in Martinsville.
I was going to nickname him Lord Byron.
That's probably fitting.
It's kind of like a dichotomy between fine poetry and NASCAR. It's like ironic. Anyway, that was a joke.
Oh, okay. I'm going to make a note. He led the Hendrick 1-2-3 on the 40th anniversary of Hendrick Motorsports. Bowman, the last Hendrick car, came in a disappointing 8th and ruined the 1-2-3-4 finish, so he should be fired immediately.
I could come up with a good conspiracy theory for that.
Oh.
Like Hendrick gets 1-2-3 in the Hendrick anniversary race at the Hendrick anniversary track. Gee, how did that happen? Nobody's questioning that? Come on. I'm sure the FBI and the deep state were all behind it.
Probably. NASCAR has a lot of those weird races that seem to work out a certain way somehow. Remember when Dale Jr. won the Pepsi 400 after his father died?
Oh, wow, shocking. He won the Pepsi 400. There's a lot of lifting in that race. What does Ford need to do to win a race? It's been all Toyota and Chevy all year.
I don't know. I think they're not using the gas. They're just, I don't know, they have throttle or something? They just can't get it together.
They have a governor on the...
Oh, that might be it. Maybe if they, quit spending so much money on their F1 hybrid engine program, they could afford to make some faster cars. Chase Elliott finally showing something by leading the race for a good amount of time. About 2 laps to go, he was in second and gave William Byron a pretty big shot, but didn't move him out of the way enough. I don't know. I don't think he wanted to wreck the Hendrick 1-2-3. He's like, I'm going to give it a little try. No, okay, let's...
They are all on the same team.
Yeah, we'll settle.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
That's rule number 1. Don't crash your teammate. It's not a big rule in NASCAR like it is in F1.
It's still somewhat frowned upon.
Chase Elliott is from the Elliott family, like Bill Elliott that drove the McDonald's car for all those years.
That's right.
Why would a racing family name their son Chase? I mean, really? Wouldn't you want a winning name like Lead or Victory or Checkered? Something.
That would be much better.
Yeah. What? Chase. It's like labelling him, second. Because if you're not first, you're last, right?
Not first, you're last. Xfinity was running on Saturday. Eric Almirola, who had just retired from Cup last year, held off Sam Mayer to win that race.
Was he in the Jesus car?
He gets us. He does get us.
Yeah, that was it. Does it actually say Jesus somewhere on the car? Or does it just say he gets us?
It just says he gets us.
You're supposed to figure out that's Jesus?
Yeah, I think so. Well, they don't want to be too pushy about it.
They don't want to be too Christian with the Jesus message?
Yeah. I miss Morgan Shepherd's Racing for Jesus car.
Racing for Jesus.
I think he used to be a starting park.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I would always remember seeing the Racing for Jesus car in last.
Yeah, he was always in the back saving his equipment.
Trucks ran Friday night. That race happened, and Christian Eckes pretty much dominated it. Not too much exciting, really. One-stop strategy, because, again, the tires last forever.
I've heard complaints that it's this new generation of car on tracks like that.
That's kind of the short track issue. They have not really been good in the past few years since this car. This car came in with they widened the tire out. It's got less horsepower, so it's easier to drive and harder to pass because everyone's kind of going the same speed.
Oh, like when IndyCar had the underpowered engines that everybody just drove with their foot down all the time?
And every mile and a half turned into a drafting track with 3 wide.
Yeah, and killed Dan Weldon.
They've tried changing aero elements on the car, which you're going 60 miles an hour on a short track turn. I don't know how that's going to help it so much. a solution would be for Goodyear to bring softer tires, but they seem dead set on bringing out tires that wear out. I don't know, because it makes their brand look bad. I don't know, but I just don't see them doing that.
They could do the alternate tire thing where you have to do the other tire at least one lap.
They should throw in the wet tire as the alternate.
Yeah, the racing was better when they were on the wet tire. Again, I'm calling it the damp tire because it wasn't really wet, but still, at least they had passing with the damp tire.
More horsepower, because 670 is kind of a joke back when early 2000s when they were running over 900.
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't they well over 800 just not too long ago?
There's tracks where the Xfinity runs faster than the Cup Series because of this horsepower thing. That's kind of, I don't know. I think your top series should have the most power.
Whose brainchild was that?
I don't know. It's supposed to save money, but then they just spend the money on other things. It's not really saving money.
When was NASCAR worried about saving money?
When the economy collapsed.
Oh.
And everyone stopped watching NASCAR.
Yeah, but for the teams. I mean, when the economy collapses, you're supposed to lower the ticket price.
No, we're going to raise the ticket price.
We're going to raise the ticket price and lower the racing quality.
Yes, that's right.
I did like Martinsville being one of the old paperclip shaped tracks. Now they're all the new ones are D-shaped tracks. What was the whole theory behind a D-shaped track?
Well, the tri-oval, they call it.
Oh,
I would say, because the grandstands, you get a better view, and you're not like looking side to side. You get a better view of the track, I think, was their reasoning.
Yeah, that's true.
They kind of come up at an angle, so you're never like can't see or looking down the straightaway.
Yeah, that's true. It just looks like they're in the Coliseum whenever I see the aerial shot at Martinsville.
That is a cool little looking track. It's so small.
Oh, I know. Well, it looks really long. I like the dimensions. It look like they're actually close to a Coliseum, or the ratio.
Yeah. I said that's the most like a road course, that track, because of that.
17. So, on to the sponsor watch. What's it say about NASCAR's demographic when a third of the car sponsors are drug companies?
I'm going to stop you right there. We're not going to speak ill of any sort of drug companies. We support all drug companies and everything they stand for.
Because that's what got Tucker Carlson fired?
Yes,
Oh.
that's exactly right.
I'm surprised we don't see Ozempic on one of the cars.
No. Well, we definitely don't see any COVID vaccine sponsors.
I had the winner had X Alta. I had to look it up because I thought it was a drug company, but it turns out it's Industrial Coatings. Because I'm sure lots of NASCAR viewers are running out to buy X Alta Industrial Coatings when they're done.
Man, if I were running marketing in a company, I would push to sponsor a team too. Imagine all the free tickets that guy gets.
Yeah, that would be nice to be a sponsor. But we make weapons. We just sell to the government. We need a sponsorship for NASCAR.
Put it on the car. Get me tickets. Get a suite too.
Yeah, you get a suite. You get to hang out with the pit crew. All that. We should sponsor a car.
Travel. Yes. How much? They're probably cheap. I have $38 in cash right now. Do you think that's enough?
We could do an IndyCar.
That's at IndyCar.
Well, my man Gilligan finished a record high 13th, and he didn't have the peanut sponsor. All I can say is maybe his pit crew should leave the crank sticking out of the hood of his car for every race.
I'm surprised that ended up working out so well for him. That was a bit of a rough mistake there.
It's like a Flavio Briatore move, but on accident. All right, now you're going to leave the crank sticking there on lap 42, and then we'll have to come back in, and then someone will crash, and we can win. Or get a top. He was in the top 10 for a while, and then he dropped to 13th, because that's what happens.
I think my favorite schemes were the 4 red Hendrick. Well, they kept their normal sponsors, but they were all red for the anniversary. Those look pretty cool.
Hendrix was red?
Yeah, the 4 cars did like a red special.
Like China red or like Soviet red?
Ruby red.
Oh, okay. Like Alabama Tide red.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. Wait, who had the gold car? I saw the mobile car was painted gold.
Josh Berry had the gold car.
That actually looked pretty cool.
That was, I don't know, they have an anniversary or something. Yeah, that one was pretty nice.
He could have done a sponsor with, Thor, and remember the last Thor, the bad. Well, it was kind of funny, but the whole scene with all the gods up there and the actor that played Zeus.
Oh yeah,
he was
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe playing Zeus. He was hilarious. That was a great. That was like the best scene in the whole film. The rest of it was kind of stupid.
That should be a series. Coming up next for NASCAR, the Echo Park Automotive 400 at Texas, everyone's favorite track.
Texas has passing, right?
No, since they did like a reconfiguration a few years ago, and it completely ruined the track.
Did they bank it too much?
They made it too wide and banked it less. I don't know what they were thinking. Kind of ruined it for IndyCar too.
Wait, did IndyCar ever go back after? No, they had to wait for the series split before they could go back again after the.
Yeah.
Remember the drivers were getting vertigo? That was when it was
kart was going too fast.
Yeah, they were so fast, the drivers were getting vertigo, so they just canceled the race.
Yeah, that was a...
Like, you couldn't just, like, put the road course wing on the front or something to slow you down? No, you just cancel the race.
That's more bad choices from open wheel racing.
That was a long time ago, and it was stupid.
Moving on to IndyCar, absolutely nothing happened, and we're going to wait 2 more weeks for an actual race.
Seriously? Can they just start the season later? I mean, this is like worse than buying from a mail order catalog. You get one race and then you wait 6 weeks for the next thing to show up.
What's a mail order catalog?
It's from like the 1800s.
Oh.
You would like look in a book. Everybody would get a book, and then you would pick something and you would like mail a check, and then you would get it 6 weeks later.
So it's like when you order from Amazon and it doesn't show up in 2 days. It takes like 3 days. Is that the same?
Yeah. You know what? Even the pandemic sim racing was better than 6 weeks of nothing.
Oh, you left out the thermal race.
No, I'm counting the thermal race. 6 weeks of nothing.
Well, in super exciting news, there's Indy 500 Open Test coming up. That's some racing.
So they're actually going to have more than 33 entries this year?
I think they will, yes. I saw Catherine Legg was announced, and I'm not sure. Prima said they were going to be starting a 2-car team, but I think that starts next year.
The Lamborghini team from Michigan? What is that series? I forget.
IMSA?
IMSA. That's it. Yeah. IMSA, the IMSA team out of Michigan.
Pretty big in Europe. They've got cars in F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, also F7. So all of the Fs.
What's F7?
I don't know.
Go-karts?
I just kept saying Fs. I'm not sure if they'd exist or not.
F6 is go-karts. F7 is those downhill racer thingies that you get.
Which ones are running? So, coming up next in IndyCar is Long Beach. Still Long Beach. Eventually it will happen.
Can we just call it the Long Beach race instead of the Long Beach Grand Prix? I mean, we're not French. No one outside of northern Michigan knows what prix means.
Do we know what prix means?
Well, it's French, so I'm sure it has something to do with losing ground to Germans.
Oh. Well, when I looked it up, I thought it meant big prize.
Oh, see, that's dumb. Who wants to go to the Long Beach Big Prize? It sounds like a lottery to fund a high-speed train to Temecula. Just call it the Long Beach 167 or the Long Beach Street Race, something. Grand Prix?
We should move along before we get demonetized.
Okay. We need to get monetized before we can get demonetized.
Oh, yeah. Let's work on that.
Oops. Messed up again. All right. That was
I'm sorry.
That was you're doing the extreme E joke. Okay. What's in other news this week?
Other news today? Well, the Extreme E Series put out a press release touting its reduced carbon footprint and gender equality. So now we know what the E stands for.
The Extreme Equity Series. Wait, they're all electric, right? But they're actual electrics. They're not like the Audi and Dakar that's electric, but it has a gas motor in the back to charge the battery.
Full electric.
They're like full electric.
Not the fake electric. We'll
call
those out as a hybrid.
Oh, yeah, that actually was a hybrid. It sounded really cool. They went like 30 feet, and then you heard the engine start up. Well, in other news, I came up with a new race idea. I'm going to call it the U.S. Interstate Rally Series. So you start in a city, and then you have to race to another city in a different state, but you can't use any paved roads.
Interesting.
There's no course. You just find your way. You can't touch pavement unless you're just crossing the pavement. There's no vehicle limits. It can be anything, motorcycle, category B, whatever. It just has to be ground-based. You can't, like, get a helicopter and win the race.
Well, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, Interstate Rally Series coming soon.
Sort of a cannonball run, but off-road type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like Cannonball Run, exactly.
I like it.
Except, yeah, Cannonball Run, but you can't use the paved roads. And maybe not that far. Didn't they go from, like, Florida to California or something?
Something that was cross-country.
Yeah, it was, like, we're, like, seriously cross-country. I'm saying just one state to another. It'd be, like, a, 5-hour... Wait, no. 5 hours is probably on paved roads. Like a 12-hour race.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'd watch it.
I saw the eclipse yesterday.
Oh.
But there was no Ragnarok and no Rapture.
Another conspiracy fail.
Did you see it from your house?
No. I couldn't really get a good view. Too far away from the area.
I still had a pair of eclipse viewing glasses from 2017.
Way to save money and hang on to those.
I know. I don't know why I kept them. Well, now I know why I kept them.
For the next one. Well, we keep them again for that next eclipse coming up in, I don't know.
2035 or something like that. You know, at the last one, I don't think it was as good as this one for the Southwest.
No. It just got a little dim here. Nothing exciting.
Yeah, I like the color outside was really... But if you were able to look at it through the glasses, you could see it was like 2/3 of the sun was covered at one point. It was decent. My wife's relatives in Michigan were all excited because they were going to get a good view. But because it's Michigan, it was cloud cover and they saw nothing.
It just got dark.
Yeah. Just got dark and kind of red.
Man, that's terrible.
Oh, and we also saw Dune 2, which got a lot darker and creepier than Dune 1. So we went in thinking, oh yeah, this is fine. Dune 1 was fine for the kids. Dune 2 was like getting pulled into a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, just wait for Dune 3.
I think I read Dune 3. And Frank Herbert got even weirder than Dune 2.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the book wasn't that weird. It was, who's the guy that was the director, the famous guy, Dennis something?
He's very French-Canadian.
Yeah.
Denis, Denis.
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve?
Denis? Is that?
Denis.
Oh.
Denis, yes.
Oh, so if it's a boy, it's Denis, and if it's a girl, it's Demi.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, he just had to make it really weird and creepy more than the first one. That's all I have for the week.
Oh, well, I guess that's pretty much it. Suns and D-backs are terrible and a huge disappointment.
Well, most of the NBA is a huge disappointment.
Oh, it is.